I felt weak. I felt like I couldn't go on. Like, I felt like I had nothing to come home to, or that I'm coming home with nothing, you know? So that was really the hardest part.
I know she had a lot of struggles at home, a lot of issues that she hadn't been able to really deal with. I was able to make that time for her. With Alina in particular, we felt like she had a tremendous amount of potential, and we didn't want to lose her.
Well, the times that I felt hopeless was when I was about 13 and older. We lived in motels. It was day by day, checking out at 11 and trying to scrape up money at 9 o'clock at night to just have somewhere to sleep until the next day. And I would feel like, where are we going? Like, this is never gonna change. That's how I've felt. And I'm just gonna constantly be here. And I never really thought about the future. I just always thought about right then and there and where I'm asleep, or, you know, if I'm gonna be comfortable, or am I gonna have even clean clothes for tomorrow's school? It felt pretty like hopeless. That's just how I can explain it. It was hopeless, and I felt like no one was gonna help me except for me. And how could I do it when I was just a little girl? It's kind of hard to say, like, you know, they're bad parents, but yeah, at the time they were, you know, they didn't pay attention to us as much as they should have. And day-to-day basis, I just remember a lot of running around doing what I would do. Not my parents, my mom or anybody telling me, no, you shouldn't do that. Like, I've never really had that in my life. So that's how it was when they were addicted to crack. I was with my boyfriend, Derek, for about a year. And I just found out I was pregnant. So I wasn't exactly scared, like, oh my God, like I can't tell anybody. I was more happy because I've never really wanted children before. I'd never really been around babies at all. So it was a totally different feeling when I found out it was happening to me. I don't know how other people really reacted besides my mom and my mother-in-law, Vivian. They were happy for me, but I really don't know exactly how my mom felt, because she usually would just pretty much play it off and then run her mouth to other people. And my dad, I know I hurt him really bad because he's always treated me like I'm a baby, of course, because I'm his oldest girl. So I felt like I hurt him, like I betrayed him a lot. I think about 7 months, not too long after I had Damien, I got pregnant again with my second son, Max. And it was totally unexpected, out of nowhere kind of thing. Didn't plan on it, didn't really want to have another baby because having one was a lot and it was overwhelming. But like 7 months into the pregnancy, I decided that, well, me and my boyfriend decided that we couldn't have another baby. I couldn't take care of him. He had to work, I had to stay home with the babies. So I totally knew what it was about having one, and I know 2 would have been way too much. It was a lot just having one, so I couldn't do it with 2. And we decided to go for a private open adoption, really private adoption. We just keep it open. I felt so lonely. It was hard, the recovery, because I felt weak. I felt like I couldn't go on. Like, I felt like I had nothing to come home to, or that I'm coming home with nothing, you know, so that was really the hardest part, is just going through everything and for 6 weeks being miserable, not being able to carry my son and know that I have a baby somewhere else that I should have been taken care of, but I decided not to. So that was the hardest part. It was just going through everything and just having nothing to show for it. And having people tell me, oh, you sold your baby. Oh, you're a bad parent because you couldn't take care of him. So that's really the hardest part.
Well, I mean, I've been with her for almost 4 years, so I mean, we've been through a lot together, you know? And I think right now she's at her best time, you know? She's doing everything that she needs to do. She's got through everything that she's had, you know what I mean? She's been through a lot, and I mean, it just makes me happy that I'm with her and that we have a family together, you know what I mean? And we're not going anywhere. We're gonna just do better and better, and that's just it.
School, really, I can't say that I've always liked to attend it, but book-wise, I've always loved it. Math, not really, but you know, English, science, history, I loved it. I was always good at it. So when it comes to that, just to be able to know something and have it be so easy to me, it makes me feel confident, like that I could just keep on doing it, and that since I'm so good at it, that I could do whatever I want with it. Just being in school, it's good, it's help, you know, it's not just, oh, learning something, it's good knowledge. I love to know and learn things and just have it take me somewhere else, you know. Miss Duran, she was the first person to really help me and try to help me deal with emotions, because I'm too emotional. So she's really the person that's helped me control it and make me feel better about myself, make me feel like I'm actually doing something right, you know, and she pretty much is the only person that I felt that's really listened. So yeah, she's helped and she's made me feel like a good person, not just, oh, this ghetto little girl. She's made me feel good and that I'm not right, but that I'm doing something.
Well, Alina did have some issues with being truant. There was a long history of chronic absenteeism, and the very first day I met with Alina, I knew right away, okay, this kid is special. She's got something going for her. And I learned a lot from her. I learned that despite all of the obstacles that she faced in her life up to that point, this young lady was a fighter. She wasn't gonna give up, she was resilient. And when you see that in a student like Alina, who's not only a survivor, but she's also intelligent and articulate, you can't help but want to reach out to her and do whatever it takes to help her make improvements in her life, both academically but also social emotionally.
School has really been the escape too, because, you know, just going to regular school is a good place to be, a good environment, and it's always been, it's constant, and that's really what I've never had in life. So that's the good thing that I love about school, is that it's constant and it's there, and that when my son gets older, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I don't know this, like, you know what I mean? I could say, no, I know this because I was into school more than going out and being party animal kind of thing. Like, you know, it just brings up my spirit, really. So, I don't know, it's just interesting and it's helpful. Mr. Chiska, that's my teacher. I love him to death. He's just the calmest, nicest, down-to-earth, good teacher, best teacher I've had. besides a couple teachers, but for recently, he's been like an influence. He helps me, and he involves Derek and Damien with, you know, whenever we just talk, it's not like he's teaching me something. It's more like I'm just learning from how he's saying it. I don't know, he's just such a good person, and I love his environment. He's so nice and calm.
She came to us because she was pregnant, as many of the young students I get are. And the first thing that we do is the counselor at our schools does an independent study guide. And I knew that the first thing we would have to deal with is her pregnancy. And talk about motivations. If you're about to have a baby and someone hands you a book on what the process will be like, you grab it and you read it, and that's what Alina did.
Well, I totally understand how if it might be really hard. It's not easy even physically. I know the whole pregnancy emotions and just physically, it's not fun, you know, and it's embarrassing sometimes. And for some people, I can understand. It feels like you're not gonna go anywhere, and it's not gonna help because you're still gonna be going home to a baby. But it's better than anything. It's something that'll help your mind at the time and place when you're pregnant, or you feel like, oh, I can't do it anymore. It's there. It's constantly there. It's not gonna go anywhere. And if you don't do it, then it's gonna be way harder. It's gonna be worse. And it's just not worth it to just drop out or just say, oh, forget it just because it's too hard, or because I'm pregnant, I don't feel like I could do it. No, there's like 50-year-old people in college, 60-year-old people in college. You don't think that they're tired? You don't think that they are like, dude, why am I doing this? It's the same thing. Like, you know, you could do anything as long as you just put your mind to it and you feel like you could do it, not just giving up, because giving up is the easy way out, and something that's worth having is never easy. So why give up? So that's how I feel. To give up and not, you know, decide not to go to school anymore, or think it's easier just to drop out or anything like that, it's totally the wrong way to go, because if you go down that route, you're just gonna make your life harder, you know, your situation worse, even though it's not bad. It's not a bad thing to be pregnant at a young age. You know, it happens and people make it. So to give up is not right at all. And if you do stay, if anything, that's the best choice you can do. You know, that's the best life decision, because if anything else happens, you always have your education. It's not like you have to depend on other people or the government or your parents. You have yourself, and that's a better feeling than having something come so easy. You know, it's good for yourself, it's good for your baby, it's good for anything and everything that you want. It's not just about what everyone sees and, oh, what's right to other people. It's for you. It's not about what other people think. It's about how you want to live your life. And if you want to set an example for your baby, then why not be a good one, you know? And be educated, and not, oh, I dropped out and I'm young and this, and this. It's an excuse. No one needs excuses. They're not a valid answer. So why do it? Stay.